we're taking a look at an interesting bike that came out in 2024. And it's for people who like the look of old stuff. And it's got more retro swagger than your grandma's vinyl collection. The MSRP of this bike is $5,600. Right now, it only comes in this really blue color. If you're an outdated stuff aficionado, the design really leans into 60s styling with this one. Power comes from a 233cc air-cooled single-cylinder engine putting out around 17 horsepower. It moves as fast as your first meeting on Monday, but it's fast enough for getting around town. The bike weighs around 320 pounds, which makes it pretty manageable for whipping around. It's paired with a 6-speed gearbox, and honestly, the gear spacing is really well done. It shifts really smooth for a bike of this price point. And it comes with the Kawasaki neutral finder thingy that helps you when you're at your stop to find neutral. It comes standard with ABS, and last, the fuel tank is a decent size, holding about 3.1 gallons. Let's talk about how it feels to be on this bike. The seat height is really low, around 29 inches. It's actually lower than the Grom, and you're practically sitting on the pavement. The foot pegs are positioned mid-position, which is comfortable. Now, if you're a tall rider, you might feel a little cramped. The sitting position is relaxed and upright, and it does have a passenger seat and passenger pegs. Let's get into what this bike does well. First off, the headlights are LED, and they do a fantastic job illuminating the road at night. You'll be seen, and you will see. I was constantly getting high 60s to mid 70 mpg, which is average for a bike like this. It has the UJM look that's not all common anymore. And if you need a wrench on your own bike, the engine's really open and easy to get to. Plus, the seat, while not overly padded, is wide and supportive. Alright, let's be realistic, no bike is perfect. And this one has a few limitations. Honestly, it's not a highway bike. It's just not comfortable at higher speeds, and it really starts to feel strained. There's also a speed limiter around 70 miles per hour, which frankly reinforces that this bike is best suited for the streets and back roads. It really shines up to around 60 miles per hour. And let's be honest, for the price, there are other bikes that offer more performance. This bike isn't about your bang for buck, it's about the styling and experience. If you prioritize pure performance, you might want to look elsewhere. But if you love the look, that's a different story. Okay, a couple things to be aware of. The wheels are spoked, which adds to the classic look, but they are tubed. You'll need to keep an eye on the spokes to make sure they stay true. It's not a huge deal, but it's something to be aware of. Also, the wheel size isn't super common, so finding tires can be a little bit tricky. While you can definitely find tubeless tires that fit, the fitment might be slightly different. Finally, the fuel gauge is minimalistic. It only has a low fuel indicator. You'll get about 140 miles of range before it lights up, so rely on the trip meter to keep track of your range. Let's talk about accessories. I tested out a few things. The knee pad set, it's okay. They're cut to fit the side of the bike for the looks, which is nice, but they're expensive, around $120. The engine guard is good value. It's simple, fits the aesthetic of the bike well, and feels strong enough to protect the engine in a low-speed drop. It's about $200 for that. And finally, the rear carrier is really useful. It gives you a lot of tie-down points and mounting options, especially if you're carrying around a passenger or want to add storage. It's priced at $240, but it adds a lot of functionality. Ending thoughts on this motorcycle is that it's pointless unless you're really into its looks, which I am and why I own it, but I think I'm going to be the only one.